Hey, things are about to get exciting because we're going to add your user information to your own personal HRT tool. And this is going to allow you to start to calculate the unconscious rhythms that regulate your body. You start working with these rhythms, everything's about to get better for you. Double click on your little tool and give this thing a hot minute because I'm doing the screen sharing here. It's definitely going to slow things down a little bit. And like I said, this is a pretty big program. Now, the first thing that you can see happen here is it says enable content, that the macros have been disabled. You're going to want to click on that and you're going to want to enable the content. So what that does is now the macro controls are active so that when we hit a button, so for example, this button right here will bring us to the current date and time. So you push this and it does a bunch of calculations, and there we are. Now, you can see that there's a user in here. That user is me. So it already has my information. This comes this way in every tool. There has to be at least one user in it for it to work properly. So now you know. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to the page in which we can enter your user information. These are the tabs. So there are 5 different tabs or 5 different pages. We're on the home page right now. We are not going to talk about these middle three. These are going to be developed, and as you become a more advanced user, we're going to start to bridge into these different pages. But right now, we're just going to show you how to add user information. So you go down here to where the little man and woman are holding their hands, and you click on this. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm still going to do the video anyway. And if you forget what I'm saying, over here it tells you exactly how to enter the information correctly. If you enter it incorrectly, it will tell you it's incorrect and it will make you do it again. So we're going to make up a fictitious user, okay? So you can see how easy this is. We're going to put Jane Doe in here. So let's get Doe. And then we're going to come up with just whatever birthday we want. So we're going to say May 24th, 1954. And now time of birth is important, and your time of birth is going to be located on your birth certificate. If you don't have an accurate time of birth, it gets a little more complicated. We have some videos to help you reverse engineer. That's going to be a little cumbersome for people. We're coming up with better solutions in the meantime. But for right now, for users that have accurate information, this is going to be a very simple process for you, but you have to make sure that you get the time in right. So our Jane Doe, she's born at 12:36 p.m. We're going to do a space and a P, so it lets it know it's p.m. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click down here on the time zone. Now, the time zone, this has to do with the time zone that was observed at the time that the individual was born. The best way to do this, because when you start to research this, different regions of the world observe different time zones. Sometimes a region within a state doesn't observe daylight savings time. So ask AI. Go to Google AI and say, I was born on 5/24/1954 at 12:36 p.m. in Fargo, North Dakota. What was the time zone being observed at that time? And it's going to come back and it's going to tell you, well, in Fargo, North Dakota, at this time, that would be Central Time, daylight savings. Okay. So then you'd come into here and you'd find it. So here it is, Central Time, daylight savings time. Okay. Click on this and that would be the appropriate time. This has to be correct. This is why I'm telling you, use AI if you're uncertain. If it's pretty obvious and you know the time zone and you know if it was daylight savings time or if it wasn't daylight savings time, then great. Then just put it in. But if you're not certain, definitely search and make sure, because if this is off by an hour, all of your rhythms are off by an hour, and that is not going to be advantageous to synchronizing with your rhythms. It's going to be the opposite. It's going to take you out of synchronization. All right, so now that we have all this information in here and we know that the time zone is correct, you're going to double check that, make sure you have your time. You literally just hit the save button. And this is going to save a user to the system. So now that we have a user in here, we're going to navigate back to the home page. So we hit the home button and here's where the users are. So if you click on top of my name, there'll be a drop down bar here and you're going to see there she is. There's Jane Doe. Now I'm just going to switch users quick so you can see. These are my internal rhythms right here. Circadian rhythm, spirometer graph. We're going to discuss all of this. Don't worry. Don't be overwhelmed. I just want you to see the difference between two users Like your circadian rhythms are unique to you. They're your biometrics. No one else has them. It's your thumbprint. It's what makes you unique. And look at the difference between Jane Doe and myself. So now that we switch to Jane, you're going to see rhythms completely different. Now, nothing's changed up here. We have the date up here. We have the time is the same. We have the right time zone here is the same. Now we're going to switch back to me, and I'm going to show you how different it is. There you go. So a family, you're going to put all your users in, and you can literally cycle through everyone in the family, and you're going to be able to see when, for example, their rest periods are, or when they're going to have a little bit of an emotional upkick and they're going to be a little short-tempered. That's how powerful this technology is. Now, there's one last thing we got to talk about. So we've got users in. Now you understand how you can go in between users. And the only other thing that you really have to have right is this setting right here. So manually, whatever time zone you're in, you have to make sure that you have the appropriate time zone for the region that you're using the technology. Not too hard. Now, I'm in Florida, which is Eastern time. We are not in daylight savings time. So this is set up the same way. You'd come down here. I'm not in daylight savings time. It's -5. So I would select this. This is the proper time zone. This is my information. I hit this button. It says enter current date and time. And that brings us to where we are currently in my rhythms. This black line right here, this is the time bar. It shows me exactly where I am in my rhythms at this time in this time zone. That's why it's so important. Now, I'm going to show you what happens if you change this. If you change this and you have the wrong time zone in and you accidentally have mountain time in, I want you to see how it's going to show that I'm in a different spot in my rhythm than I'm actually in. That's why this is important. You'll be off by hours if you don't have the right time zone. So very, very important that the tool is set to the time zone that you're physically in. And then over here, when we're doing the user information that we put in there, just make sure that the time zone was correct at your birth time. Then you're ready to go and everything will be super, super accurate. Now, once all of this is done, you have to save it, okay? So to save this, you literally just come up here and you hit the little save button, or you come to file and you come down here and you save the changes that you made. Anytime that you add new users, you're going to have to save them in here. Now, it's confusing in the beginning because what we did is we created a user in the tool and we hit save. Okay, that saves it to this page. That's not going to save it though if you close this down. So if you go to X this out and close this down, it's going to ask you, do you want to save the changes you made? And the answer is going to be yes. You're always going to want to save the changes you've made if you've added new users. If you don't save it and you open it up again, you're going to have to do all that stuff again. There you go. So now you understand how to add users, how to set the time zone properly on the home page, and the next videos, we're going to get into how to start to synchronize with the best times to eat, the best times to rest, and we're going to take it from there. Can't wait. It's getting better and better. Talk to you soon.